15 love.
He played in the Brisbane International qualifiers, got through to the second round there, but that was his only pre-Australian Open hit out, whereas Zverev, a couple of United Cup matches, defeated Thiago Monteiro, who went down in 5 sets today to Cain. He lost the first set against Zhang Zhizhen and then ripped through the next two, 6-love, 6-2. Now, he didn't start in his third encounter in the group stage at the United Cup. He just had a little issue with the bicep. He did play the mixed doubles after he played that singles, though, so it wasn't immediately apparent. It was just after he cooled down, it became a little sore, and just a precaution. We did see him last Thursday here with Novak.
Cain, Pouille. First game.
So, Luca holds his opening serve. Josh Eagle is courtside, and Josh, like Fitzy, you came from Adelaide this morning on a 6 a.m. flight, so I have to say the endurance of you two is impressive. Welcome to you. Hopefully this match is entertaining and keeps you wide awake, because it's been a long day already.
No, we're just warming up here at the Australian. Doesn't get much better than day one here at the Australian Open, that's for sure. And great to see the big German in action. Look, I think he's coming off the best year of his career for me, world #2, and you know, he still goes right up there with the list of one of the greats or the best players to have not won a Grand Slam. I think this surface should be good for Sasha Zverev, so I'm fascinated to see how, not just this match, and you know, hopefully moving forward, how it unfolds for him, because he's had a great 2024.
Look forward to your insights from courtside.
Well-structured point from Zverev. He's a heavy hitter. I did enjoy that trip over with Josh this morning. I thought we probably would have made a good doubles team, Josh and I, but he
a bit dusty, a bit early, Fitzy.
He dumped me for a younger man. You know,
no,
I don't blame him.
It's always good to be alongside you, Fitzy, but you're right. Zverev doesn't get much heavier from the baseline than just how big he's hitting it. Now, that just is a warning signs, and he has just changed rackets in the off-season as well, so I'm fascinated to see if he's picked up any more pace, because that's what he was looking for with the racket change.
30 love.
Yeah, I think the speed of shot is right at the top of the men's game, isn't it? The heaviness, and those long arms create such racket head speed. You know, Pouille, a player like him will stay with him for a while. It's whether he can maintain it over a long period of time, I think, from the back of the court. And he's too good a player, David, not to win a slam. It's just too good not to win one. He has to break through at some stage. It would be a little bit tragic if he couldn't, being the quality of player he is. He's just got so much game. Hovering at 2 in the world.
He's been close, hasn't he?
14,
5
15.
sets against Alcaraz at the French Open last year. He was 2 sets to love up against Dominic Thiem at the US Open when he was runner-up. 2 sets to love up against Medvedev last year here in the semi-finals. That sort of weighs on you, doesn't it, when you've been that close? So he talks about it openly.
Cain, Zverev.
Said the other night that he doesn't care where he's. He was asked if he'd like, for his opening Grand Slam win to be here, and he said, to be honest, I don't care where it is, as long as it happens somewhere.
Yeah,
it's fair enough.
I think he's also been asked the question about the #1 spot, which is certainly one of the ultimate pinnacles that players want to get to, and he said, well, I don't really think I've deserved that yet. I haven't won a major, and there is some, I think, inkling of truth about that. Probably need to have won a major, really.
Between games, they're allowed to move. During the game as well? During the game, they shouldn't, no. Not so low, but yeah.
So patrons walking in just between games. It's a good innovation. Called wide. Gee, it looked like he laced it on the line for a second.
15 love.
I'll tell you what, for a big man, that defensive effort from Zverev was awfully good, because Pouille, he belted this forehand down the line, the one before this. And the defense was as good as it gets, I think, from the German. Nearly gave himself a chance to win the point at least.
$15 all. $15-13.
That ranking now just outside the direct entry. So he has the wild card here on the exchange program for the 30-year-old.
$15-14.
Break points here.
$30-14.
Good serves there. I always admire players, Fitzy, that come back from injuries and work their way back. He was ended the year in 2022 as 388, 23, 330, and now he's just back on the door of the top 100.
Yeah, it's gutsy effort, isn't it?
Left.
Keep in mind, 30 years of age is the new 26.
It's good news for you and I.
Maybe 27. It's not really, actually.
If that's the case, then we expect to see Josh Eagle back out on the circuit.
Won't be long. I'll be back out there, but
Advantage.
interesting to see Lucas Pouille. He's got a bit of strapping on the stomach. We've seen a bit of that, and you do typically at the start of the season. A few guys with And just maybe a few niggles, given that they haven't played many matches of late. So I just wonder whether that will inhibit Luca as this match goes on. We'll keep a close eye on that.
Cain, Pouille.
So saved a couple of break points there. Pouille holds serve.
Pouille leads by 2-1.
Pretty much a full house on Rod Laver Arena for the opening day, the Australian Open of 2025. Sunday start for the second year. Incredible week last week for the opening week qualifying. Charity matches, over 100,000 patrons came through the gates for what was effectively a closed shop and a bit of a construction zone in previous years, but now it's an event in itself.
Time.
This precinct now at Melbourne Park comes alive at night. It's fantastic during the day. It was beautiful this morning, then some of the worst weather you've ever seen, torrential rain, and there was thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening.
Make a song out of that.
Under 19 kilometres an hour, thank you.
Love. Love.
He's a good mover for 6'6", but he makes the most of the service advantage with that height.
He's got quite an extraordinary serve. You know, he's had his fair share of problems with it. But this first serve is amazing, really. And I talk about the consistency of it and the percentage that he gets off that first serve at that speed and direction. Amazing. But yes, he's a good mover too. When you're 198 metres.
Jannik Zverev. Two games over.
That's impressive. Pouille's going to have to be as solid as a rock, especially early in his service games here, just to try to stay ahead on the count. in terms of breaks of serve. It's a daunting thought to break Zverev, and you must be solid on your own. No weak moments, or very few. Clever. Lovely volley. Didn't overplay it.
15-all.
A really good mix-up, and this is part of his repertoire, Pouille, and didn't overplay this volley. Just took the speed off it, really, and hit it to the right angle. Textbook. Very pleasant on the eye.
$15-13.
Well, his margin for error is just a little better as Zverev from the back of the court. So if Pouille gets into a lot of baseline exchanges,
15-14.
you can possibly expect that to happen towards the end of the rally. So that's where it's difficult for him here. Tough matchup.
Cain, Zverev.
So Zverev gets the break this time. Pouille couldn't defend the 2 break points
Zverev, please.
like what he did in the previous service game. So Zverev 3-2 with the break.
Time.
It's ended up being a very nice night here at Melbourne Park. Zverev with the break. Josh, that pressure of Zverev, it's going to be something that's very difficult to deal with for Lucas Pouille.
Yeah, it's looking ominous already, isn't it? I know it's 19 minutes in, but he just is in such good form, and I can't see how, I can't find too many areas of the court here where Pouille can really dominate and hurt Zverev. But let's see how it unfolds. But these are the types of matches I'd love to see Zverev experiment and come forward a little bit more. I think the only knock on Zverev is that he does get a little passive, and he's a big man. I think a lot of people are calling for him to try and finish points a bit more at net.
He's on his way in there, but sends it wide.
No, he's just such a stubborn player, but that is why he's had so much success, because he just really believes in what works. But as you age and you're trying to find solutions to that elusive Grand Slam, I think that's the next step for him. Use early rounds and other tournaments to get practice so it feels comfortable in the big moments. You know, what he doesn't get a lot of credit for is just how hard he works. He is definitely right up there with one of the all-time hardest workers, always out there grinding, training, trying to get better. So he's desperate.
$15-30.
He just looks like he's playing within himself, doesn't he? No, he's not on a red line there. See Jez Green behind Alex Senior there. He's been together with a lot of great players, Josh. He's sitting in the commentary box, and he's back in the camp of Zverev, helping with the training.
Yeah, that's a good move. He's super experienced. He's, of course, worked with Andy Murray for many, many years, so he's right at the top of the tree of his profession. And I just think, guys, that this is a really good first round for Zverev. If you can get through that first round at a Grand Slam without exerting yourself too much, it's hard to do, but so far this is looking very likely here for Zverev with this matchup.
So consolidates the break.
Zverev leads
Goes
by
out to a
4-2
lead. And the opposite, of course, for Pouille, who's come up against the #2 seed here. He's only won one of his encounters against a top 5 player at the top level. Wasn't a bad win, though. Rafael Nadal at the US Open.
Not bad.
So I'd be concentrating on the 1 rather than the 13.
Love. 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 Let second service. $40-15. 40-30.
Easy to get a little loose, isn't it, when you get ahead 40 love? He's good at the net. He's very comfortable being up there.
Pouille holds. Zverev with the break. 4-3 opening set. He was busy, wasn't he? Pouille there. He had to be, because there was a couple of good stretches from Zverev.
Yeah, that's old school. Still love watching it, David.
Serve and volley? Well, or just the volley? And anything that involves the net you like?
Well, this is a different type of athleticism, isn't it? I mean, great split step there. It's a natural motion for Pouille. It's part of his DNA, and he gets back beautifully, reads the ball with balance. Still love that stuff.
Time.
Not everyone on the tour would be as natural at that type of tennis as he is.
Opening set here. Second seed, Alexander Zverev with a break. New balls.
Love 15.
Well, that's a pure reflex action there. Great return. Just getting the racket face behind the ball. That's 204 kilometres an hour coming at you. Well, clever play, David. Just some variety. He brought him forward a couple of times, Josh, didn't he?
Love 13.
Well, it looks like this is a clear tactic, and a great tactic, because he's not going to win the rallies from the baseline. There's just no way. And just showing a little bit of tennis IQ, which we love. It's crafty, skillful. And I'm sure Lucas Pouille would like a little bit of a quicker court out here, but he's thinking on his feet, which it's good to see, finding solutions.
Second service. Fifteen, 13.
fine margin sometimes, isn't it? That ball just catching the baseline, and he attacked across court, which is maybe my least preferred, but it was so deep that he received a pretty simple volley. He'll be annoyed here, though, especially if he loses this game, Zverev. He wasn't expecting this.
Cain.
There's some good serving there from 130 down for Zverev. Holds.
Zverev leads by 5
Maintains
games
that
to
break of serve to lead 5-3.
Love. Fifteen.
Well, if Pouille gets pushed back behind the baseline, it's not good for him.
15-30.
He wants to play most of his tennis up there a bit closer so that he can attack, he can hit and move forward if the right ball presents itself. But if he gets pushed back by Zverev, that's not a good space for him. And as quick as that.
15-14. Use. Let for service. Advantage, Zverev.
Oh, brilliant play. Got the applause from Zverev. That was a nasty volley for Pouille.
He showed his class though. Classy volley again. I mean, the matchup is not necessarily the best here for Pouille because he's playing such a powerhouse from the back of the court, and to attack against him is not easy. But he's got some class up there at the net. That was difficult. And there's the applause for someone who appreciates skill.
Advantage, Queen. Cain, Queen.
Saved the 3-set points. Keeps his chances alive in this opening set. Zverev leads 5-4. The Frenchman Lucas Pouille hanging in there as best he can here against the number 2 seed Alexander Zverev. Defended the 3-set points. But Fitzy, a little harder task here to defend the serve of Zverev.
Well, it is, and he's in all likelihood going to face a lot more close games on his serve, Pouille, than Zverev will. You'd expect this delivery to win his fair share of very quick, clean games, whereas Pouille's going to have to work hard, probably from the start of the match to the finish, to defend his.
Let for service.
I've seen guys break their thumb doing that. You may not believe it, but I have. Yeah, that's good stuff. And if he's clever enough with that nous that Josh was talking about earlier, showing some courtcraft, if he's good enough, he can take Zverev out of his comfort zone a little bit. But it's hard to do because you've got to overcome the power first.
Easy put away there. Josh, you just talked about earlier the requirements for Zverev to move forward. He just sometimes hesitates a fraction, doesn't he? He's not 100% certain that it's the right move. And
no, that's right. We saw it a little earlier, even the previous point where he could have taken that in the air as a smash. He decided to run back and try and reset the rally from the baseline. But yeah, there's still a lot of upside. That's what I really like about his game.
I think Pouille's done a heck of a job here in this first set because it looked for all money that Zverev was going to run away with it and make it a lopsided opener. Not so.
Was it my eyes, or has Pouille retreated a fraction on the return of serve?
Yeah, he's on the other side of the Yarra River. He's that far
I didn't think he was that far back, but
he's not far.
He's not knee deep in the mud just yet.
No, but I do like that he's trying to give Zverev a different look every time he returns. He's really trying to change things up out here.
Well, it's the advantage of the height, isn't it, that helps create a bigger angle wide to that first court. And wide to the second, by the way, but especially to that first when you can swing it wide. Almost impossible to get a racket on that one.
Use.
Four set points gone by the wayside. Back to Juice.
Advantage Zverev.
So at the 5th attempt, Zverev gets the set 6-4. Didn't have it all his own way. The second seed takes the opener in 46 minutes.
Love 15. Love
Josh,
13.
just looking at the shirt there of Lucas Pouille, is it warmer at his end of the court, or is it just the fact that he's doing a lot more running? Because he's in a puddle of perspiration. And
Yep, there's no doubt. He's working super hard. This is a different intensity level. He's used to playing the Challenger circuit, given where his ranking's at. So the ball's coming through quickly. It's intense. It's point after point. So make no mistake, it's actually not that warm down here courtside. It's actually very pleasant and, if anything, quite cool.
It is always dangerous starting again, isn't it, early in the second? You've thrown so much into it. Playing against someone who's ranked higher, has had more results and is in better form, and you're just throwing everything you can at him. And you stay with him for a set, and then you've got to start again.
Led for service.
Dangerous moment. Because you just can't afford to drop off at one fraction against a player like this who will maintain. The greater players maintain their level better generally. The lesser players probably have more peaks and valleys in their performance.
Cain, Zverev.
gets the opening break.
Well,
First
Zverev
game,
didn't
second
do a
set.
lot there, did he? Not a real lot. He was given some help.
One of the other things we saw at the United Cup is what Zverev's doing now. He rarely went back to the bench at the United Cup. I mean, his pace of play, Josh, was really swift. I'm not sure if you see this more than...
Yeah, quick game's a good game, they say in this sport. And I think that he likes just to get on with it. He's got the momentum. He wants to just keep going. And I like the speed of play from Zverev. And I'm sure that Dad and brother would be pretty happy with what they're seeing. And I think they would know that he's certainly got some room for improvement as well. So Team Germany very happy down here courtside.
15 love. Love.
He's got to be careful here, Lucas, or this could get away from him quickly too. He did drop off a fraction in that first game. This guy is maintaining in the early stages of the second set, keeping them, well, until then, keeping the level high.
30-15.
Really good body serve.
40-15.
I like him using that change up. He's not just serving for the lines all the time, looking for the free point. He's keeps his opponent guessing.
Game.
No, it's pretty comfortable at the moment for Alexander Zverev.
Zverev leads by 2 games to love.
Heart still beating, but hardly raised.
Well, he needs to play a good game here, Lucas. He has no choice now. This has happened fairly quickly. I mean, he pushed Zverev right to the end in the first set, but you just sense that he's dropped off since then a little bit. He must hold serve here.
Yeah, Fitzy, you just wonder whether he comes out with the full-on serve and volley. It may be just a different tactic. We've seen he's very capable up at the net, Lucas Pouille, and he's certainly running out of time trying to out-rally from the baseline. I think just maybe a different tactic with the serve and volley could be an option.
Well, if he stays back with one of the great ground strokers in the modern game, then, you know, logic says he's going to win less than 50% of the points, and maybe considerably less. So it wouldn't hurt. He probably doesn't have an option. He's got to try some stuff, some different stuff. Pretty impressive from the back there in that point, though.
30-15.
I guess, David, if he could do that time and time again, he could just stick with it.
He probably wouldn't be ranked 104 in the world either.
Possibly
just
not.
an observation. Showing the glimpses of what took him to number 10 back in 2018.
All.
Dangerous. Well, I think he's aware that that's probably not the right angle to go in on.
30-40.
I think, but he's probably out of some options. Down the line was the play. Surely this is dangerous. It doesn't give him any chance to cover the angles when you go wide to this forehand and run in.
Use.
So Zverev reacting there in a negative fashion, knowing that a win on that point probably would have almost finished this second serve off in his mind. And that comes about from pressing, knowing he's under the pump and going harder and taking more of a risk. That's the fine line you travel.
Use.
Well, he's giving it everything. He's trying to hang in there with this number 2 seed.
Advantage, Pouille. Cain.
Good serving, gets him out of the trouble spot that he was in, and it was difficult, no doubt about that. Zverev leads 2-1 upper set.
Here's your trivia question. How many Grand Slam women's singles titles has Margaret zero, one, or three?
Match is still continuing around Melbourne Park. Rain interrupted day for the outside courts. Lost nearly 6 hours of play. Disneyland for sports fans. Melbourne Park lit up magnificently. Zverev in command here. Upper set and a break.
Love.
Josh, you just feel like this relentless pressure from Zverev starting to really take its toll.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of were alluding to just how much he is sweating Lucas Pouille. Look at that. He is drenched. The workload, the intensity, just to try and stay in touch with the world number 2. It's a funny scoreline. It's 6-4, 2-1. And it looks quite close, but it doesn't really feel that close. It feels like Zverev very much dominated this match. So whether he just sort of runs away with it a bit, or does he use this as something, as an opportunity to work on his game a little more? Oh, the old left-handed forehand from Lucas Pouille. I like it. That's something different.
A khaki hander, as we say down under.
Zverev leads by 3-1.
Let's have a look at it. Didn't work that well, so maybe it'll be put away. Didn't see it there, but there's a good saying: in times of crisis, do something manual. And well, that not bad.
Yeah, I like the swing plane. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Got the racket head through, didn't he?
Not quite the Bryson DeChambeau when he plays left-handed compared to right-handed. Hardly looks like there's any difference at all between his 2 swings.
Love.
point. It just feels ominous. It feels like he's in cruise control here, Zverev, and I'm sure he is really. Pouille working hard when he gets pushed deep in the court. We've talked about that. It's hard for him to win points from back there.
It just feels like he's not. If he really needs to, he's not going to miss. He's just so well drilled, so well rehearsed, Zverev. That's a good play. Just takes a little pace off the serve, 155km/h slider wide, just allowing it
30, 15.
to hit the court, just slide off nicely here. I like this play. Plenty of court to volley into.
All. Forty 30.
Just nice little delay then. Saw that the side was open.
Well, that's the option he's got, isn't it, to serve and volley, and he's got to come in against some mighty good returns. So sort of caught between a rock and a hard place a little bit at the moment.
Advantage, Pouille.
His serve saved him the last couple of games. He could have been down another break in this set, but he's...
Yeah, you're right, Fitzy. I like the way he's competing. Lucas Pouille, he was a great talent early on in his career, and you know, he's been to a semi of a slam, and he's achieved a lot in the game. But his resilience throughout his career with injuries and then making comebacks, and even what we're seeing tonight, like there's a lot to admire about Lucas Pouille.
Deuce. Advantage, Pouille.
Well, he's hanging in there, isn't he? That's to be admired. Serve. Sure is still with the advantage. Second set.
Get ready to be closer than ever to the courtside action at MasterCard Cain. Just scan the QR code for your chance to be next. You can win.
Approaching 10 p.m. local time here in Melbourne, opening day of the Australian Open 2025.
How's Fitzy going up there? Is he hanging in?
He's just.
Yes.
I admire both of your. You're showing Lucas Pouille style resilience, both of you. It's been a long day.
Got to admire Pouille. He's still in this second set. Looked like he mightn't be.
You feel like the dam wall's going to break at some point, and significant. There's cracks appearing, and the water is trickling through, but he's hanging in there.
Yeah, and that's no disrespect to Luca. He's fighting hard. He's working hard, and he's competing here. It seems like he's just hanging on at the moment, though.
15 love.
As most of the draw would be, by the way.
Love.
It's a monster, isn't it? When you consider how fast it is and what height it comes from.
And I think you're right, Fitzy. You've got to remember, 3 or 4 years ago, he really did struggle with that serve. He had, I wouldn't call it the yips, but he had a little bit of that deceleration where he would have the ability to serve a couple of double faults quickly. But boy, he has certainly ironed out those problems, and this is a real weapon.
Cain, Zverev.
Swift
New
service game
balls,
there
please.
to love.
Zverev leads by 4 games to 2.
Well, in this set, he's serving that bomb we're talking about at 77%. Now, if you can do that at that speed and that height, plus he's got the accuracy anyway, that's... Josh said it was a weapon. It's a bomb, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah, when you talk to the players, and quite often you hear the other players talk about who have got the best serves on tour, and his name's certainly thrown around there, and that's a big call, isn't it? But there's great respect amongst the locker room with just how well and how dangerous the Zverev serve can be.
Well, he's had some opportunities, though, Zverev, to break a second time in this set. And I think the longer it goes and he doesn't do it, he might get a bit annoyed with himself, because he's got to be able to step up too and increase the level of play on the returning games, just for his own self-satisfaction.
$15 all. $15-13.
Gets a bit of luck. Take it.
30 all.
Especially when you need it.
30-40. Use.
Well, on the big points, he served to that Zverev forehand a few times, and he's got some free points on that wing. On the break points. Needs to get that one back into play, Sasha.
Advantage, Zverev.
Well, you used that terminology before about the dam breaking, David. It feels like it's about to.
This is his 5th break point. 6 make that. Hasn't yet converted in this set.
He'll be annoyed.
Use.
Because Luca has given him plenty of opportunities here in the last few games.
Manages to find a way through. There's a positive volley from Zverev.
Advantage, Pouille.
Wasn't quite off the centre of the racket, but it's okay.
Cain.
Lucas Pouille survives there.
Zverev
still with the break here at 4-3. Well, Lucas Pouille managing to hang in there here. Zverev assaulting the Pouille serve. Has had 6 breakpoint opportunities. Just converted the 1. Came in the opening service game of the set. He got the break. Kind of feel like he's just hanging on by his fingernails now. But he's hanging on, and that's the most important thing.
He is hanging on. But Zverev has been off his best here. He hasn't converted anywhere near as much as he probably should have. Certainly could have, but probably should have. Still up a break. But goodness, it could have been more.
$15 left. 30 love.
Well, the quickest way to end a streak is to talk about the streak, but Zverev's won 11 points in a row on serve. Make that 12. There you go. That's how it's done.
30-15.
Josh, it's just one of the facts of commentary, isn't it?
It was a given. Yeah, beautiful.
You know, I'd resisted talking about it for so long, and I just saw the count continuing to rise, and it gets to 11, 12. Do you mention
40,
it? Do you?
15.
Temptation. You just couldn't.
It needed to be said, and you just knew that it wasn't going to work in Zverev's favour. So I apologise to him and all his fans.
Gee, that was a loose one. Got a bit bricky on that one, didn't he? He moved forward and didn't look like he had much feel on that ball. Sort of strange.
Use. Advantage, Zverev.
Well, there's certainly no reason to peak in the first round of a tournament like this, and he hasn't.
Cain, Zverev.
So Zverev once again holds serve. Been dominant in this second set. 5-3.
Zverev leads by 5 games to 3.
Be a good coach, Josh, to move when he's served and volleyed.
15
Been more
love.
successful than not.
Yeah, it's a good play, and I think you just got to really persist with this, and this is a big game for Lucas Pouille. He really wants to hold just to get one more crack at the Zverev serve before it gets away to a 2-sets-to-love lead.
Opening his shoulders a little bit on the forehand. Why not?
30 love. Thirty 15. 40-15. Use.
Trying to finish these points quickly. And I like his effort to show versatility here. He can't keep playing from the back of the court. It's good energy. Flattened out a couple, hasn't he, to hit winners, but that means you play the ball a little closer to the tape.
Brings up the set point.
Well, it really could have been a one-sided set in terms of scorelines if he'd converted here. Just a couple of times.
It's a fourth service game of Pouille that he's faced the break points just the once. Opening service game was Zverev's able to convert. He's not there yet.
Advantage Queen. Cain,
That's good work. Norrie's persistence. Lucas Pouille is going to force Zverev to serve for the second set.
Zverev leads by 5 games to 4.
So we feel like it's one-way traffic. The scoreline suggests that it's close to being that way, but he is putting up a good defence here.
Yeah,
Lucas Pouille against the world number 2.
Yeah, it's a combination of things, Dave, isn't it? I mean, no conversion of break points in this set after 4 separate games he's held them, Zverev. And he's not at the peak of his powers here. And Pouille is gutsing it out, trying to mix it up. Win points different ways.
Fifteen love.
So he's starting to walk the tightrope a little bit with the forehand. He has hit some amazing flat winners from that wing. But when you go that hard, the odds start to lower.
Love.
So another dominant service game to round out the second set.
6 games to 4.
Zverev 6-4 to go with a 6-4 in the first. Well in command here.
Wrong move.
15 love.
If you hit this ball across court into the forehand wing, you're asking for trouble. It happens time and time again in modern tennis, and I'm not sure why. There you go. That's how you approach.
15 all.
It's not set in stone, is it? I mean, sometimes they knock the ball off from the back of the court and go across court with it as they run in, but that's a safer play to make a right-hander with 2 hands on the backhand, take 1 hand off.
$15-13.
Well, he got the early break, didn't he, in the second? You can share that, mate. That's which set?
$15-14.
And that's the right approach there for Pouille too. Beautiful. Didn't overplay it. The depth and width there gave him a chance, without hitting it too hard, a chance to move forward to save one of these break points.
Well, what an incredible job he's done of that. One thing he'll be taking away is
Use.
capacity to defend and under duress. 14 break points. Zverev's won 2.
Please. Advantage Zverev. Use.
Well, he came in that time, and I guess Pouille he'd faked and stayed in that backhand corner and got a good piece of that pass.
Advantage Pouille.
That's good work again. Resolute defence from Pouille.
First game, third set.
And the technique on that low backhand volley, there was a direct comparison there. Pouille comes out on top in that facet. He gets the racket head a bit closer to the eyes than Alex Zverev. He gets down to the ball a little more. And that's great control there with an open racket face.
But he's moving forward, Fitzy. That's what really helps as well. His momentum, getting down low. He's volleyed well, hasn't he, really?
Yeah, he's good volleyer. Good one.
Just wondering about the temperature down there, Josh, because that shirt of Lucas Pouille was fresh and it's wringing wet already.
It's extraordinary, isn't it? Yeah, it's extraordinary. I mean, it's not cool, but it's a little fresh.
Love 15.
That's been the strength of Zverev today, the placement
15.
into the corners. It's been deep and it's been wide. Well, I guess, Josh, you've got to persevere. It sometimes doesn't look that good, does it, for the world number 2, but
15,
that's what you're working on. You've got to do it under match conditions.
Yeah, just sort of, it's like he's changed his mind. He was going to stick it, and then he thought, well, maybe I'll hit a drop shot, and he got caught in between here.
I think he's got to practice up at the net more. I mean, the more he's up there, the better he'll get. And he does have such long arms that the racket head is always naturally going to be a fair way away from his head and his eyes. So I think he needs to compact it a little bit. That's just my humble opinion. Get the racket head closer and get a bit more consistency in the volley. But I think he should use it more.
30-40.
First break point opportunity of the match for Lucas Pouille.
His brother was a good volleyer, Josh.
Certainly was a lefty. He actually did serve and volley, believe it or not, a completely different game style. So he's very capable up at the net. Let's see Pouille with his first break point of the match.
Use.
Looks good when he comes in.
Yeah, he wasn't under any pressure
No.
with that volley, though, was he?
Advantage Zverev.
Gee, that's a long way back, isn't it? I'm not sure about the physics of all of that, Josh. I mean, the ball, the longer you wait, it seems like the higher it gets up over the shoulder to make the return there.
Yeah, you've really got to rip that high in the air, haven't you? You've got to, you know, of course, the net clearance, but then you're wanting it to jump up. You want shape. That's great serving from Zverev. Just turning up the dial a little bit when he needs to. And you can just hear him urging himself on a little more now, saying, come on, come on. He would have been pretty disappointed if he did lose serve. Had a whole host of break points in this match. And then Lucas Pouille just having his first.
2 from 15 opportunities. A little irritated, Zverev.
Love 15.
7th double fault for Pouille.
Well, you got to take every little bit of help or luck. Great vision there of just how quick Zverev is. He nearly got to that. He's a great mover, more so laterally than up and back.
Tell you, long feet wouldn't have helped in that situation, would they? Would have touched the net.
I think he actually did.
Yeah, I think he slid into it. That power from the back of the court's impressive, isn't it? He's able to produce how deep, how quickly it gets back to his opponent's feet.
Yeah, absolutely. And when he finds the range on that one down the line, Dave, it just opens the court right up, especially if a player is starting to physically tire a little bit. He served pretty darn well, though, hasn't he? It's kept him, I think, in a lot of his service games.
You can just see courtside here, Zverev just getting a little frustrated because every time he gets these windows at 15:30 or 15:40 breakpoint chances, it's been snuffed out pretty quickly, purely by the first serve of Lucas Pouille.
Not up.
Well, there's a tiny bit of luck there too. I mean, he intended to go there, but you need a little bit of a miss-hit or a bit of luck here going backwards to make that shot on such a fine angle. It gives him the winner.
Cain.
Pouille holds. He leads 2-1 in this third set.
Pouille leads by 2 games to 1.
Go back to the early stages of the opening set to find the last time Lucas Pouille was leading on the scoreboard. Bit of luck in that last service game. Good serving continues for him.
Time.
Well, maybe the foot didn't touch the net as he slid into it. The racket may have. He did a lot of sliding.
Yeah, well, if either one touches it, it's point over. Unless the ball is dead on the other side first. That'll be an umpire's call. Well, it's almost like Zverev here, because he hasn't been at his best, and a couple of little things have gone against him as well, but and not being able to break, he's looking like he might prolong this match if he's not careful.
Please. $15. Weapons. $30-15.
It's almost all out attack, isn't it, on that second serve now, taking the ball inside the baseline.
$40-15.
Well, the pass feed to Zverev needs to be a little better than that, the drop shot. 2-all.
2 games over.
Quick to react. Six steps there with plenty of time.
Love. Love. Love.
Just starting to get a little more frustrated is Sasha Zverev.
A bit antsy.
Not fully, just a little bit more. Just a little irritated.
He gave both of those two-handers what for?
15.
Lacing them. Bit of that frustration coming out.
Great hands from Zverev. Showing us again that forward speed, and this time he was a lot more organised with the racket. He was getting it back as he was moving forward with the footwork and just soft hands. I think he'd be very keen to try and win this point here. Of course, get back to deuce. It's too good.
Really doing a good job in this third set.
Please.
On serve, 3-2.
Pouille leads by 3 games to 2.
Lucas Pouille's done a really good job of just making it a little awkward out here. He's played a lot of drop shots. He's serving and volleying, changing up his return stance, his shape of shot. So he's really trying to go through his repertoire that he has. So I think he's done a fabulous job of just making it a little ugly tonight for Zverev. And as we're seeing, Zverev just starting to get a little more frustrated. Lucas Pouille, he seems totally fine with the fact that it's a little ugly, the tennis, but he knows that's his one strategy that might just cause a little bit of a problem to Zverev as we continue on.
Time.
Approaching the 2-hour mark here, opening night, Rod Laver Arena, Sunday night in Melbourne. Approaching 11 p.m. local time, and Zverev with the first 2 sets, 6-4, 6-4 on serve here in the third.
15
effective
love.
serve, hasn't it? The wide swinger. A lot of points for the German.
Love.
Hasn't been many moments when he hasn't been safe on his serve, has there? He generally holds pretty comfortably.
Cain, Zverev.
Not a lot of chances for Pouille. And generally, look, in the back of his mind, maybe subconsciously, he's probably thinking, well, if I can just get this to a breaker and give myself a chance. More so than being overly confident. I wouldn't have thought on breaking this Zverev serve. He's got to persevere, though. You never know.
Love.
Did he get an out ball there, Josh? I thought that ball of Zverev was going long. Good catch, by the way, young man.
Oh, the crowd, they love a catch.
15.
Yeah, he certainly did an out ball. And he just kept pushing forward, and then it was really no chance to get this. This was an excellent lob. But let's take a look at the catch. Oh, fingertips. That's a classic catch.
A few involved too. There was a fight on for it.
The old man didn't try to take it off the young fella, did he? By any chance? I don't think he did.
See ball, catch ball's the rule when it comes into the stands.
Team effort.
Well, that's brilliant from Zverev. He gave Pouille the absolute runaround. The Frenchman did absolutely everything.
Aren't the crowd enjoying it? A touch of class from the world number 2 here, showing he's got some skills.
Nice exchange at the net, but this one here, he dashed back quickly enough to be able to size up where his opponent was. Das ist gut.
You know Josh is good with German.
I know that.
I mean, why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
Married to one of Austria's finest.
Yep. They speak a lot of it at home, and he has to learn it so that he, when they're talking about him, he understands what they're saying.
Yeah, I just pretend I don't understand. That volley, Fitzy, that Lucas Pouille played in that second point might just come back and haunt him here with a couple of break points.
Well, there's a chance here for Zverev. He hasn't had a happy time of breaking many opportunities. And again,
It's got a bit of a mental blank or something here at the moment. It's strange.
30-40.
2 of 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the dad's saying, come on.
Well, maybe he's saying, what am I doing? And Dad goes, I don't know, you're just missing, you know. Simple. That wasn't a difficult shot.
Another one. Oh, and it's wide. It's like a game within a game, isn't it? Watching Zverev attempt to break
Yes.
the Pouille serve. So many opportunities.
All right, Dave, what's the numbers?
Advantage.
How many break
Zverev.
points has Zverev had?
17.
2 of 17.
No,
Yep.
no, Dad, I don't want you deliberately putting the motzer on either of these two
No,
players.
I'm just reading out the stats. 2 of 17. Make that 3.
Game.
So he finally gets the break in this third set. Zverev now leading 4-3.
Zverev leads by 4 games to 3.
So you take the positives. He's had the capacity to generate those chances so often on the Pouille serve. Like to be a little cleaner when it comes to making the most of them.
Time.
So Zverev with the break now. 2 sets to Laver in front. 4-3, third set.
15 love.
We talked about the capacity to earn the break points on the Pouille serve. Just the one opportunity for the Frenchman to break Zverev, which was unsuccessful. He's been very good.
Love.
He still possesses the ability to hit the ball cleanly, doesn't he?
30-15.
Good for you, Luca.
Doesn't get much cleaner, does it? 149 kilometres an hour, but that was all out assault. He liked it.
There's so much power in the modern game, the rackets, the
40,
strings, all of
15.
that, but you just love a good slugfest on the occasional points. We like the finesse and the angles and all of those things, but when they stand at the back of the court and just bash it at each other, I like it, Fitzy.
Why am I not surprised? You could probably put that one in the sock drawer.
40-30.
Dave Basher Colbert.
Well, I think this one was out of necessity. He got just stuck on the baseline, and that can be put in with the left-handed forehand of Pouille. As the curiosities.
He's persevered, hasn't he, the Frenchman?
Yes. Advantage, Pouille.
Big serve, 2-10.
Yes. Advantage Zverev. Cain, Zverev.
Holds. Edges closer to the finish line.
Zverev leads by 5 games to 3. Love 15. 15-all. Third say 15.
Oh, beautiful shot. Still got some there. Got himself set beautifully. It's
14-15.
so much about balance, this sport. And the footwork gets Luca into position. And he transfers that weight beautifully. Just drills it.
Cain, Pouille.
Pouille holds.
Zverev
Zverev will
is by
serve
5 games to
for
4.
the match.
Time.
The number 2 seed, Alexander Zverev, looking to make it through to the second round of the Australian Open for the 9th consecutive year.
La 15.
I think his body language shows he knows he's not that close to his best tonight. Missing too many balls. But it's not the business end of the tournament. Don't leave your best stuff out here too early, but he would have preferred to be in a slightly high level, I think.
Let for service.
Fitzy, I think the serve's been good.
15-all.
It always typically is, and that's really been the best part of his game. He's won a lot of free points on serve.
$30-15.
Brings up the match points.
14.
He'd be 26th in singles at the Australian Open. It equalled Tommy Haas's It's the second most by any German at the Australian Open, only behind Boom Boom himself. Becker's on 29. If he goes into the second week, he can take that title as well.
Forty 30.
Well, the serve is the feature, and it finishes with an ace. Zverev, 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. Moves through to the second round. Comfortable and dominant. Lucas Pouille did everything he could, didn't he?
Well, I think he did. Yeah, he was gutsy, and I think everyone here appreciative of his efforts. He's not the top 10 player he was at the moment. He may get back there, but it's a long journey, and he's come a long way already, and he still possesses some class, doesn't he? But probably overpowered, really, as you'd expect from this man.
Next opponent will be Pedro Martinez, the Spaniard who had a retirement today. The Italian Luciano Darderi, 6-4, 6-1, and that was it. Good to see Lucas Pouille back here at the Australian Open. Let's go down to Josh Eagle, who's courtside with Alexander Zverev.
Sasha, congratulations. It's never easy, first round of a Grand Slam, but you got the job done, and of course, what a great year, 2024. Really, I think that was possibly the best year of your career.
Yeah, thank you very much, first of all. But yeah, playing Lucas, I mean, he's somebody that when he's healthy, he's definitely not the ranking that he is. I mean, he's been in the semifinals here before. He's actually been in the quarterfinals at least at every Grand Slam. There's something that I have not even achieved. So he's definitely a great player. I wish him, you know, health first of all, and then he's going to be back up the rankings very soon.
Well, I wish him all the very best. We had Casper Ruud out here a little earlier, and of course we know his father played. We know your father was a very good player. We had the chance to speak with Misha before the match, and he was talking it up, saying that when he was at his best, he made the quarterfinals here. He said he would beat you when you were at your best. Do you agree with that? Do you think your brother is better than you at your best?
He said that he's better than, when he's at his best, he's better than me when I'm at my best.
What's your thoughts?
I mean, he has one tour title. I have 23, so it's a bit of a tough comparison. He was a great player. I do like my chances, though, I have to say.
I do too. I think I really do. No, we're just having him on, but it's a new initiative this year. We've got the player boxes. What's it like having them courtside? It's a different feel, isn't it? Having the coaches sit so close to the players.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it, but
Is that because it's Misha and your father?
basically I don't want to see them too much in my life, but it's the way it is. I chose them as my coaches, unfortunately. Well, I didn't really have a choice, to be honest. I mean, what am I going to say at Christmas dinner? No, you're not coming to Australia while their bags are packed already.
How would that go down?
I wouldn't get food from my mom, so that would be a problem. But no, I think there's innovation in all sports. Tennis is getting innovation as well. Not sure what kind of innovation that is, but you know, we're moving forward. The world is moving forward, so it is how it is.
Sasha, congratulations. You're moving forward as well. You're into the second round. Well done, mate. Good job.